ठीक है.
Okay.
Hello guys, hello, and welcome to our
Hello.
podcast. This is myself, Srinath, and with me there's Nikhil, and we are being joined by Arun from the Goal Difference. So please follow him, guys. Yeah, Arun has joined us in, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and so
Hey guys, how are
has.
you?
Hi,
Hello.
how are you? Yeah,
I'm good, I'm good.
yeah, and so has Sumit. Uh,
Yeah, Sumit joined too, yeah.
yeah.
So how are you guys doing?
Pretty bad game week, just getting over the blues of those.
Okay.
So maybe we can jump right into the topic for which we are here. Um
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So from the beginning, how was your game week, guys? Uh,
Oh, we've done pretty well. I mean, we got a
okay.
63. We
Oh,
had Zaha and we had Zaha and Bamford, so that
that's
kind of
pretty
saved us.
amazing. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, we had Captain Sahal. I think like
Nice.
most of the FPL community.
yeah.
Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing. Otherwise, we did pretty well. I think
Okay,
Zaha and Bamford I think, almost gave us 30 points. So yeah.
okay.
It
Yeah.
was only the captain that was a bust. Apart from that, everything was good.
Yeah, that sounds good. My
Partey,
game week was
size.
pretty bad. I ended up captaining Sterling for a differential pick, but
Ooh.
eventually,
Hmm.
Son it was the one who saved the day for me. I had scored 44 points. Not happy with it, but yeah, taken a wild card after that, so I had to take one.
Oh, you've played a
Okay.
wild card.
Yeah, just this game week. I was just waiting for the time where West Ham's fixtures are getting better so that I can and Spurs is
Antonio.
yeah, exactly. So all those things.
Do you do you all have a combined team of Connor taken quickly, or you're talking about your individual team?
I'm
Individual
just
teams.
talking about myself. We have
Okay.
different teams for ourselves.
I scored 55 points. Only Son and Ings got into the double digits for me, so decent
Oh
but
wow.
not
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's above average. I think average is what 44 or 31 or
44 is
something
44.
pretty
like that.
Yeah.
average. So
44. So it's
Actually, I
yeah. So
expected
it's
more. I expected a bonus point, more bonus points for Podence, actually, but they didn't
from
give.
Podence, but he didn't do anything.
Hmm.
No, actually, I
Oh,
expected. I didn't see the match, but afterwards, yeah,
oh, okay. No, okay. No, so I mean, when I say he didn't do anything, as you expected, returns from Podence. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
played
you know,
Yeah,
I had
normally
decent.
Podence.
even if he doesn't score
Hmm.
a assist, he gets the bonus. So
I have Zaha in my personal team,
Oh,
so
so
that's was good.
that I think that system has stopped. What Nikhil was talking about. Even if you don't give returns, you get a bonus. I think it's been 3 or 4 years since I've seen that happen in FPL, where a player hasn't like given an
yeah,
assist or a goal and has gotten a bonus point. I don't think they do that anymore. Because I remember, I think this was 2007 or 8, where I had Wayne Rooney as captain, and United lost the game. But Wayne Rooney gave me 6 points, basically 2 points. Like, sorry, not six, yeah, 6 points, 2 points for playing plus a bonus.
oh,
After,
okay.
I mean, it's
yeah.
been years. It's been years since I've seen FPL give that. I don't think they do that anymore.
No,
They
Dele
don't.
Alli did that 3 4 years back, dude. He gave like
No,
4 points, I
Henderson
think, 2 points
got
bonus
once
without
last
doing
year, once
anything.
or twice
Yeah,
last year
so
as
did
well.
Hendo, I guess.
But that would have been maybe saves. Henderson or Ederson?
Yeah,
Henderson,
Henderson,
Henderson.
Henderson, Liverpool's
Henderson.
captain. No? Yeah, we didn't keep
Jordan
a clean
Henderson, not
sheet,
Dean
nor did he
Henderson,
score.
dude.
Jordan
Okay,
Henderson.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Dude, the
That's
average was
rare, but
48, by the way. The average was 48.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like most of the captaincy options ended up disappointing, no? So that's what pulls the
True,
average down.
true.
So
I think
maybe we can,
other than Spurs, all the matches were I think were disappointing. Like everybody, the result that everybody expected, I think it went completely the other way. I think other than United Chelsea, I think everybody expected that to be a boring game. So yeah.
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 People like,
Like coming to our next segment, guys. After the review, maybe we can answer a few questions which were pretty trending in Twitter. Then maybe we can fast forward to wildcard picks or your watch list, personal watch list, and
Sure, sure.
right. So, like with there's Dinia, there's Robertson, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Digne being suspended, Liverpool's defense being quite shaky, hence Robertson and Trent not being able to notch up the returns of what they had the last season. What is you guys' take on that?
With go first, huh?
See, honestly, I personally would ask any FPL manager who own any of these three to sell them off, because I feel that now, like you said, now they're giving the returns. All right. Digne also, if you look at him, I think he gave 12 points the first game week. He blanked 2 game weeks. He gave 7. I think again he blanked in 6 points or something like that.
Yeah.
For a defender who's worth 6.2, that's not good enough. He was unlucky to get a red card. He's banned for like 1 game, which is fair enough. But I would still not own him. I would either go for someone like a Castan or probably a Roman Sais who are consistently giving you clean sheets. When it comes to Liverpool is kind of a tricky thing. I mean, they've been really bad since the start of the season, hence no returns. I would personally say don't transfer out Trent Alexander-Arnold right now itself, because I've watched Liverpool play every game this season, and they've been attacking more to the left as compared to the right. Hence Robertson, I think, has even more points than Trent. And if you would want to keep one of the two, I would say Robertson. And I even read, I think a couple of days back, I don't know whether it was Ben Dinnery or some Twitter handle, who had basically tweeted saying that last time this season, Trent Alexander-Arnold had created 23 big chances. This season he's created only 12. So that's like a huge, downgrade. So I personally would not own any of these players right now because they aren't performing. Maybe if you see a shift and you see Liverpool playing consistently and getting at least clean sheets. If you're getting clean sheets, at least it's worth it. But right now Liverpool aren't getting clean sheets. So I would actually
It will be rare.
Yeah.
Even
So yeah, I mean,
Fabinho is
yeah.
out.
Exactly. So it's really pointless, I feel, to own a Liverpool defender, right? Especially someone people who are they are valued 7 and 7.5 million. So yeah.
No,
I mean, I think
especially
the
with
closest.
Van Dijk injured and maybe Fabinho also being injured for the next 3 or 4 game weeks. I don't think that owning a Liverpool defense, from the point of view of clean sheets at least, is the wisest of the calls. But yeah, still they end up at least Robertson in the season. He's been acting more like a winger this term around. So maybe
True.
there's a
Yeah.
possibility that you can treat him as a midfielder, 7-point midfielder, and expect returns from him. So that's one take how some managers think about it. But yeah.
So that's how I think everybody considered Trent this season. I think everybody started off with 4 at the back, considering Trent as a midfielder, but that's not really worked out. But yeah, like you said, Robertson could actually work out because Robertson is I think he's taking a lot more set pieces also this season. So yeah.
So Arun, your call on it? Digne, Robertson, or Trent?
So long term, I agree with Sumit to sell on Trent, but managers who have Trent, I think, should wait for one more week and give him one last chance against. He's playing West Ham at home. I know West Ham are the form team, but I think you need to give him one last chance for this game week. Long term, you'll have to sell, but managers who have Trent, I would say hold on for this game week and then sell later on. So because he's playing City next after that, and then you can divide your funds among players like Target, Chilwell, Castan, like Sumit said, Size. So these are good defenders, priced lesser, and can also give points. And Trent isn't delivering the goods, so yeah, I mean, but you can keep him for one more game is what I feel. Just keep patience with him for one more match.
Yeah, Nikhil, being a Liverpool fan, your take on it?
I have Trent right now because I think he can assist more, because yesterday night against Midtjylland, predominantly this season from after the restart, Robertson was attacking more. But yesterday I saw a shift, Robertson was holding back and Trent was going forward. Suddenly Klopp shifted back. So if he carries on, I think Trent might work out. And Trent is on set pieces, so he can score an odd free kick here or there. So I'm still holding on to him, but I'll see after the City game. After that, I don't think there's worth. If he doesn't score until then, there's no worth keeping him.
Yeah, good call. So yeah, guys, next question for ours is Mitchell or Patrick Van Aanholt. what do you consider about his this thing? When are they? When is Patrick Van Aanholt going to come back or what? And how long will we be persisting with Mitchell?
I think you'll come to know this game week itself because I think last game PVA was introduced into the mix.
Yeah.
What was surprising was it wasn't a direct sub for Mitchell. Mitchell shifted to right back. I think it was Danny Ward playing right back. Danny Ward was substituted for Van Aanholt. So I think this game week you will come to know
No,
whether
it was Klein. It was Klein, I think.
Oh, sorry, Klein played
Klein
the
was
game.
playing.
Yeah, so I guess this game week
Klein
itself
came
will
on
come to know.
came off.
Yeah, so I think this game week itself will come to know because I think, if you compare PVA and Mitchell, PVA gives a lot more attacking and he's defensively also good. So it's just a call that Hawkson needs to take right now, and we'll actually come. I don't know. Still, I think this is playing Fulham. No, Wolves, right? I think
Yeah,
they're
they're
playing
playing
Wolves.
Yeah,
Wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah, so I think this game week itself
Yeah,
will come to
away.
because the fact that he got like 20-25 minutes last week, I'm pretty sure he'll be set for a return. So I would suggest all owners to actually keep hold of Mitchell and then take a call for game week 8 because I think right now it's 50-50. You don't know unless in the presser Roy Hodgson says Van Aanholt is starting and Mitchell is going back to the bench. So, yeah.
Arun, what's your call on it?
See, Mitchell is around 4.2, right? He's around 4.2. So even if Mitchell doesn't have a run of starts in like 2 or 3 games, you can just wait and see if he's playing or no. If he's not playing, then I think it's still worth keeping him because he'll be 4 million and you purchased him for 4 million or 4.1 million.
Yeah.
But if he's 4 million and then he doesn't play, he has a lot of buyers, right? So at that point of time, I think it's time to sell and you can go for a Kilman or somebody from Wolves who's around the same price. So you can assess Mitchell's price because he's the cheapest. You can assess his performances. You can pass the eye test, and I think Van Aanholt, according to me, will play on the left wing because Raj playing up front with either Batshuayi or Ayush. So Mitchell, I think, might play. We'll have to see that. I mean, I hope he does because he's the best enabler in the game this season.
So there's another possibility that, as you said, he plays in the left wing instead of Schlupp. So there's
Yeah.
one possibility of that with Mitchell playing as a proper left back. There's that possibility. Yeah, Nikhil, what's your take on it?
No, I was about to say at this point, like Van Aanholt was played in a position similar, like his average position was similar to what Schlupp plays, like left midfield.
Yeah.
So if Roy Hodgson goes the left way, like left mindset, so he can play both of them together. Mitchell provides defensive stability more than Van Aanholt. So the kind of manager Hodgson is, so if he wants to change, I think that he can go that way, but I'm not sure because Hodgson doesn't change much.
Yeah.
He keeps the 11 consistency.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
still not sure about it.
Right. So it's just to wait and watch, guys. The people who are watching, it's Mitchell for one more game week. If he starts, well and good. Keep hold of him. If he doesn't, then hard luck. Maybe you can substitute him, keep him as a first sub or something, and then yeah. So that is our next question: is Maupay or Bamford? What's your take on it, guys? Starting off with Sumit.
I would stick to Bamford itself, and only because of Bielsa.
Okay.
I get Graham Potter also is playing attacking football, but if you've noticed in the last couple of games, Brighton aren't just able to score goals. Even if they do, it might be one or two. So I'm not really looking at Maupay as with terms to getting attacking returns. Leeds, at the other hand, play total attacking football. Like they just keep attacking and attacking. And Bamford is also on set piece. I know he's not the number one option. Klitsch is, but you never know. I mean, given the form, he could even go. He could even go to penalty duties. So I just feel Bamford is. I don't think Bamford is cheaper than Maupay. Also, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
He is
Bamford
right
is.
now. Right now.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
so
point
I
is
would-
that Maupay is a talisman for Brighton. But on the other hand, Leeds have an array of attackers who come in and chip in with goals. Not only Bamford, because the last season when the Leeds were in the championship, Bamford just
Pablo
shifted
Hernandez.
not goals.
Yeah,
So
True.
Hernandez.
yeah, so
No, that's true.
yeah,
I get that. I mean, like it's like a Man City where they have a lot of players who anybody could score, but it's like Bamford's in form, right? And like I wouldn't say in form, like he scored a hat trick last game, like really amazing goals.
yeah,
But it's just that with the way Leeds are playing as compared to Brighton, I would rather have a Leeds asset or a Brighton asset because I just feel that the chances that Bamford would get over Maupay would be more. That's why.
yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Arun, what's your take on it?
I go with Bamford too actually, because for all the reasons that Sumit said, that Bielsa plays total attacking football. The only downside to having him over Mopa is maybe penalties, because this season there are a lot of penalties being given. So then Mope takes them for Brighton, but I mean you can't just count only on penalties, right? So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go for Bamford too, and I mean he is the man in form right now, hat trick against Aston Villa. So yeah, I mean I'm going for Bamford too. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's again in the short run, it's Bamford because of the form that he's in. But in the long run, maybe I might just shift over to Mope because of the fact that is a Bamford that good a finisher as compared to maybe a Mope? That's one question, and especially with Antonio's fixtures getting improved after game week 8, there's another possibility of bringing him in by adding just a 4.4 million or something, considering that he's fit or something. So yeah, that's one take on for me. Nikhil, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. My take was like Leeds have a bet, like I think second or third highest conversion rate at the moment in the Premier League, and Brighton have are in the bottom half. Like, they create a lot of chances, but their conversion rate is in single digits, I think, if I'm not wrong,
yeah,
for Brighton. So if Brighton even creates the chance, there's like even if Mopai doesn't finish it, he can not like he's making the chance, others are not finishing it. So the possibility of assists are going as a they're not converting that much, but Leeds are converting their chances in. They're
yeah,
totally opposite to what they did in the championship last year. Like their conversion rate has increased by far. So I think like even if Bamford doesn't score, he creates chances.
yeah.
So someone else might score. So right now, in the short term, I will keep Bamford, but I don't have him. But if someone has him, like I'll prefer Bamford over Mopai.
Yeah. For me as well, it's the same. I'm having him in my wildcard lineup for the time being, just because of the form that he's in. So yeah. So yeah, last question we can discuss over. Which Arsenal player is worth having, guys?
Nobody. Don't. Like I
I
said this.
knew this is coming,
I
man.
I said this last gaming also. I think. I mean, owning an Arsenal player is just FPL suicide. It's this makes no sense. They're a team that has no direction. Like I mean,
Yeah,
I honestly feel Aubameyang is overrated. I don't own him. I've never owned him in FPL because of my previous experience. Like whenever I've owned him, he blanks for 4 game weeks. Okay, he'll give you like a return 1 game week, again blank for 4 game weeks. I just feel he's too overpriced for that. Lacazette, like open goals. Like, I think the last game itself, he just misses sitters.
Miss.
So there's
yeah.
nobody in that team that I
And
would
yes,
want to own. I think
and with compared to the number of points that he scored, he's like for midfielders, he's probably ranked 49th or something, and for that too for 11.7 odd player,
exactly
that's way
it's
too
just
high.
too much. It's too
Yeah,
much. It's too much. I mean, it's like a lottery system with him. If you buy him at the right time, that particular game week he'll like give you 2 goals, 2 assists, or a hat trick. But then the next 3 game weeks he might give you 1 assist, and that's too much for 11.6 midfielder. This is too much. I
yeah,
can't.
exactly. And
And
moreover,
the defense,
uh,
yeah. Sorry.
like yeah. So with regards to that, Arsenal are pretty much very pragmatic this season than we are what used to seeing them. So maybe like the way Arsenal have played, it's better to have a Bellerin or someone who actually ranks you up with those clean sheets. But considering that clean sheets are pretty rare to come by this season, I would consider other options like Lampard
Also,
were much cheaper than him.
plus Arsenal have David Luiz who just gives penalties for free,
Yeah,
So
very true.
the clean sheets are like might as well forget clean sheets. So yeah.
Yeah. Arun, your take? Pretty much the same.
Um, okay. If I have to pick an Arsenal player, if you have to pick an Arsenal player, see Aubameyang, as Sumit said, yes, he doesn't. If you have to buy him at the right time, only then he gives points. But he still ends up scoring 20 odd goals a season, and you have to have him at the right time. Otherwise, it's worthless. I had Aubameyang in my personal team as well as we had him in our TGT team also. We sold him obviously, but we had him. And if I have to pick now someone, I wouldn't pick anybody. But if I had to pick someone in defense from their team, I would have taken a punt on Bellerin maybe because he makes the overlapping runs and he's given attacking returns in the game and a clean sheet. But I wouldn't generally go for an Arsenal player right now. But if I have to pick somebody right now in defense, it would be Bellerin. That's it. I mean, not much to talk about
Yeah.
Arsenal right now.
I have an add-on question. Yeah, I have an add-on question to this. Like, I was reading this up. Someone suggested to have Nketiah or Saka from the bench. Like, if someone blanks, to come on as a sub, because they sometimes, like, Saka and Nketiah look more dangerous than Aubameyang and the other players right now. So this was a strange question, but also they proved with some fact, like Aubameyang has 1.2 shots per game
Yeah.
this season,
Yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
Saka had more shots per game. Even Nketiah had more shots per game in less amount of minutes played. So
Yeah, even Saka was
that's
playing as a left back for a while this season, like in a couple of games. So,
so what's your take on that? Like Saka or Nketiah from the bench, not in the main 11, but to have a
Good.
cheaper
I
option
mean,
on bench.
if their value doesn't fall, it's a very good option, like you said. But if the problem is if they don't come on and you don't have a player playing, like suppose example, David Luiz is I'm just giving example. David Luiz is missing the following coming game, and you have Bukayo Saka, or you have Saka on the bench also who also does not play. So then you just miss it out. I know like one's a midfielder, one's a defender. I'm just giving an example.
yeah.
Then you have 0-0. Like it's pointless. It's a risk, but I don't know. It's a risk that I wouldn't take personally. It's too much. Like if I know it's a guaranteed starter, fair enough. Yeah.
Arun?
None, because you don't know who's going to come on and who's going to score the goal and who's going to win the game. If they come on, also will they perform or not? It's just not worth. It's not worth considering at all, according to me, an Arsenal player right now. If Aubameyang's fixtures are good, maybe, but I mean, from between Saka and Nketiah, there will be no one according to me.
Yeah, sounds good. So last question, guys. Quick one. Then we'll end with our podcast. More than the time we had allocated, but still. Yeah. So what's your take on the captaincy this weekend?
Captaincy, one sec. I just need to check the fixtures once.
Yeah, I'll quickly
I
tell you.
I know the captain. I know a proper captain for this game week actually. I'd go for Harry Kane personally
Yeah,
because he's playing Brighton. Yeah,
true.
and you could go for Son as well.
Yeah.
But Son is performing more in away games and Kane is performing better in home games. So if you're going with that, then I think Harry Kane should be your captain. All right, we kept it on I kept it on Mo Salah and so did the TGT team on Mo Salah and we blanked. So I think Brighton at home, I'd go for Harry Kane this game week.
Yeah, so do I. I've just captained him. But considering Salah playing West Ham United and Sterling playing Sheffield United away, or for that matter, any differential pick for you guys? Anyone?
Yeah, I would go for Mane. Mane, I mean, I would say Mane differential. I would say Mane is actually a player you need to pick because, like we discussed, a lot of attack is happening to the left wing.
Yeah.
I mean, like how Nikhil said, if it's changed in the Champions League and they continue playing to the right, then maybe not. But I would say Mane. Differential, I would actually go for Timo Werner. I would
Okay.
actually go for Timo Werner as a differential because
Yeah,
it's a very. I think are they playing West Ham?
they're
Chelsea
playing
West
Burnley.
Ham?
They're
No.
Burnley.
Oh, they're playing Burnley.
Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley are going to be tough to crack down, but I think Burnley, I mean, defensively, they are a little slow. Timo is fast, quick, so I feel Timo has an edge on that, over that. So I think differential would be Timo Werner, but let's see, I don't know. I wanted to say Bruno Fernandes, but I don't
I-
expect anything from the United Arsenal game, so I'm not
That would
saying
have been
Bruno
my
Fernandes.
differential captain. That would have been my differential captain.
Yeah,
I mean,
considering
David Luiz, dude,
with
David
David
Luiz gives a
Luiz,
lot of
yeah.
penalties. Yeah, and Bruno.
Yeah.
And
No, but
United get
David-
penalties in every game.
David Luiz is set to miss the game against us. He was injured in the last game.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sad
he went
about
off at
that.
halftime. He went off at halftime. Yeah, I know, right? But he went
Yeah,
off at halftime. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, I was very disappointed because I knew we would have gone penalties had he played the game against us. So,
right.
ठीक है.
I still think
And-
United will win. I still think so, but
Yeah.
I'm
For
not saying
a differential captain, I'd say it's going to be Rashford because till the time Martial comes along, he's playing up top and he's having the maximum number of shots at goal. So for me, it's Rashford. Otherwise, it's going to be Kane. I don't have
Rashford right. Rashford right now is the poor version of Aubameyang. You know, just keeps shooting and does not convert. That's Rashford
I was
right now.
about to say that.
but
yeah.
His
do
games.
you think Cavani will
his-
start this game?
I mean, it depends on today's lineup. Tonight when we play Leipzig, it depends on what lineup we play, whether Cavani starts or whether Cavani comes in. It depends on all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll come to know after tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, guys. You guys want to add anything? Nikhil?
Oh,
Um,
no.
I
Nothing
think
right
Bruno is
now.
my differential captain. That's all. I mean, I think United will thrash Arsenal and Bruno Fernandes is going to get points. So my differential captain. Otherwise, it's going to be Harry Kane.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. That was our third episode of Corner Taken Quickly podcast. And thank you guys once again, Sumit and Arun.
No problem.
Maybe we
It's
can start off with more collaborations like this. This was really nice.
Sure. This
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah, this was really fun. And
Alright.
it was pleasure having you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Same
you.
here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So see you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay then.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.